From the Royal Marines to TV's most extreme adventurer, Aldo Kane has experienced some of the world's most hostile environments. Now he is fronting a brand new, fantastic documentary series. It's called The Wild Ones, and it sees Aldo and his fellow experts travel the earth to save some of our most endangered animals. Well, Aldo is with me now, and we've just had a revelation because we both lived in Green Hills in East Kilbride.
It's very odd.
There must be something there that makes people interested in the wild and wanting to do things. It's called The Wild Ones.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant, brilliant concept, and it really is shining a light on some of the animals that we might lose.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's also the people who are risking and dedicating their life to conserve these last species. You know, we spent 2.5, 3 years going to some of the most remote places on Earth and spending a lot of time. But we wouldn't have been able to even get close to finding these animals had it not been for the local scientists, conservationists, and people running organisations in those countries.
Thank goodness we've got people like that.
Exactly,
to do these things. You know, it's amazing that some species have been brought back from the brink because of the work that they do. So that's why it's so good that you're shining a light on that. There was one instance in particular that I know really got to you. It was a whale. You wanted to see a particular species of whale. Yeah. And you ended up saving it. We
get given, you know, the brief before we go, what the threats are to the animals. Yeah. It could be poaching for the tigers, and for the whale, for the North Atlantic right whale, it's fish strikes and ghost nets, so fishing nets that have been let drift in the sea, cast away from storms or whatever. And, you know, we went up there thinking that, you know, we wouldn't really see any, and we ended up seeing a young female North Atlantic right whale completely wrapped, terminally wrapped or fatally wrapped in fishing gear. She would have died, starved to death over about 6 months. And we were able to actually be part of that rescue attempt that eventually freed her over. I mean, it was pretty harrowing.
Gosh, that must have been, but I mean, that must have been really, really tough to do. But when you freed her, I mean, what a feeling, what a privilege.
I know, and it's, you know, there's not a lot of these whales left. There's maybe a couple of hundred of them that are up there, and they're very much endangered. Every species that we went to film on this series is critically endangered through different threats. But that was the one that we were actively involved in. Actually, we saved her life. You know, she's of breeding age. She's, you know, can go on
so
to live
important,
for many more years and have more calves.
Which is what you want. It's just brilliant. You got malaria. Where did you get malaria? What was the? Because you thought it was a hangover, didn't you?
It was in in Malaysia. We'd been out filming the tiger episode, and I've always been pretty careful with taking my meds. But for whatever reason, you know, I came back home from Malaysia, went to Foxy's wedding.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Woke up on the Saturday feeling a bit rough. Sunday, I was thinking 2-day hangover isn't right.
No,
and by the weekend, I was in hospital with malaria pretty badly. But that, I mean, that's not bad odds. That's the first time in 30 years.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
You have managed to dodge many a bullet.
Yes, exactly.
in your previous line of work, and also with this. And it is treatable, which is fantastic. Exactly. It really is. You're kind of, I mean, obviously you're front and centre of this, but before that, before you started going in front of the camera, you were very much the go-to man. If there was going to be people in danger, you would take care of them, like Will Smith, like people like that. And that must have been a really interesting job, because quite demanding as well, and a huge responsibility. I
mean, yeah, that's kind of what I enjoy about it. Yeah. Same with the Wild Ones. You know, none of us are presenters. We are, you know, me, Declan, and Vane are, you know, we're experts in their own field, whether it's camera operations or safety. Yeah. And so, you know, the safety part of it's just something I've always done, from the military to, you know, the first job in TV going inside volcanoes to... And I guess the last 5 or 6 years has been a lot of helping scientists, helping biologists, conservationists with my sort of skill base. That's exactly what the Wild Ones is.
But the thing is, you're saying you're not a presenter, you really are, because you just, the three of you are, because it's because you know so much, but you're able to get that across in a way that people who aren't experts can understand. That's the key, that's all it is. It's communication, of course it is. You mentioned volcanoes. You met your wife on the edge of a volcano, your future wife. I love this. You know, it sort of pales into, you know, me and Steve going to Dundee United against Hearts, and you met in a volcano.
We did, yeah. We met on Reventador volcano years ago. Probably 10 years ago now. And it's been a big old adventure ever since.
It really has. It really has. And you've got 2 wee boys.
Yep.
They're both under 5, aren't they?
Yeah, 4 and 1.
4 and 1.
We're in the trenches. Yeah.
You are in the trenches, both of you.
And my wife is in the trenches when I'm away filming. Yeah.
I know, but they're going to be adventurous, aren't they? You're going to look at the big wide world you're going to show them.
I know.
How fantastic!
Well, that's a big part of filming this. Is when you film a series like this, it's 2 or 3 years. It's a big sacrifice. But if it's worth the thing that if we're invested in it, which I am, I want Atlas and Ori to be able to go to Malaysia and know that there's tigers in the jungle,
they're still there,
and that they're still there. So I feel like the trade-off, it's very difficult leaving young kids.
Of course it is.
But it feels like when you're making a series like The Wild Ones, it's very, it's a trade-off that's worth it.
Oh, absolutely. And you imagine they're going to sit there, and they will be, especially your old, especially Atlas, going, that's my daddy. That's my daddy that freed that whale. I mean, I know there was another team, there was a team round about you, but that is fantastic. How proud they'll be.
I know.
It really is a brilliant series. It's absolutely fantastic. It's called The Wild Ones. It's on Apple TV Plus from Friday. It's one of the few things that you can all sit down as a family and watch, doesn't matter what age you are, and just wallow in the beautifulness of it, and also be very aware of the work that's being done to save these animals. Thank you, Aldo.
Thanks, Liv.
Great to see you, Aldo. Thank you so much. Hi there. Thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. We upload new videos every single day. So click here if you're interested in this video, or head to the homepage for more amazing content.